So today it's dodgy wiring time. Let's take a look at how wirings in houses looked like in the old days. And by this I mean in Czechoslovakia in the communist era. Of course, these wirings would be dodgy up to modern standards, even if they were done exactly the way they were supposed to be done back then. But on top of it, they were typically done DIY, which made them even more dodgy sometimes, because almost everybody was doing their wirings DIY. Which doesn't have to be necessarily a bad thing if they knew what they were doing, but out of necessity it was often done, even by people who had no idea. This is a typical Czech socket, E-type, which has a ground or earth pin here, the neutral hole on the right side and the live on the left. And now let's take a look under the cover. And here you can see it connected in the typical old style. Before 1996, all the wiring in houses was TNC, which stands for Terra Network Combined. And this means the ground or earth wire and the neutral wire are actually combined into just one wire. So you have just two wires going into the socket. One wire goes here to the left hole, it's the live, and the other wire goes here into the ground pin terminal here, and then it continues to the neutral hole on the right. One wire does both the neutral function here and the ground or earth protective function. Unlike the modern way, where you have three wires going to it. Here's an example of it. The brown wire, the live, goes to the left hole. The blue wire, the neutral, goes to the right hole. And the ground or earth wire, yellow-green, goes to the ground pin. So that's the new system, and as you can see, the wires are copper. And this is called TNS, or TNCS, which runs as TNC to some point and then it splits into TNS. And let's go back to the old one. As you probably already noticed, the wires are not copper, they're aluminium, which makes the already dodgy system even dodgier. The new ones are typically 2.5 square millimeters of copper. The old ones again 2.5 square millimeters but aluminium. And of course the biggest problem with TNC system is when this wire gets broken somewhere on the way. The wire snaps or any of the screw terminals upstream is loose, or the surfaces are oxidized. This wire is called protective earth and neutral, or PEN in short. And if this one is broken, then the ground pin becomes live through the impedance of the load. If the incoming PEN wire is broken, then the live potential just goes through the appliance into the right hole and through this jumper into the ground pin, which of course is loose in this socket to make it even dodgier, and then basically into the metal cabinet of the appliance. So yes, just one loose or broken wire makes the metal cabinet of your appliance live at mains voltage, which is the main reason the TNC network is quite dodgy. And of course using aluminium wires makes it even dodgier, because they're quite soft and fragile, they can break, and they can become loose under the screw terminals. Also with thermal expansion, when the temperature goes one way, they get compressed, and when the temperature goes the other way, they just become completely loose and lose connection. And to make it even worse, sometimes multiple sockets were looped in a chain. The next socket would be connected to the previous one, the live would be connected to the other screw of the live terminal, and the PEN wire, the neutral and protective earth, would be connected somewhere here or here. There would be multiple sockets in a row, and if the PEN wire is broken, then the earth pin is live in all sockets downstream. The sockets were very often in a chain, and that's why every terminal has two screws. So one wire can go in and another can go out to the next socket. There are two screws for the live, two for the neutral and two for the earth. And of course there are also double sockets, like this one. And of course some dog here. One still wired and with some paint on it, of course. Some old junction box where the aluminium wires meet with few copper extensions here. One socket uninstalled, and you can see just two wires going in, the live and the PEN wire. And a three-phase junction box for a stove, where some older wires and newer wires mix. And of course some kitchen lights botched onto it, connected to one phase of the three-phase stove connection, which is dodgy, but people did it. And here aluminium wires continue into super thin stranded copper wires. Another junction box here, an absolute nest. That's crazy. In this socket it looks like it's looped, the PEN wire goes in and continues out, but the live goes just in and nothing continues out of it. It seems like the neutral fell off So they just used the neutral out of this one, and so two socket circuits now share one neutral. Bloody hell. Also the cross section of these wires is unbelievable. Typically house sockets used 2.5 millimeters aluminium, but this looks like 6 or even 10 square millimeters. Super excessive for this application, but this is probably because people working in factories were stealing wires and bringing them home. Whoever was sitting around at work, they would just take home and use it for their DIY house wiring. And again you can see the neutral hole and the ground pin connected to the same wire. The pen for the sockets in the living room broke somewhere in the walls and nobody ever found it to fix it, so they just jumpered it to the socket in the kitchen on the other side of the wall. But of course in modern wirings you couldn't use a pen or neutral out of one circuit and live out of the other circuit because of the RCDs or GFCIs would basically just... But back then the neutral or pen could go to the socket through a completely different path than the live. And of course because of the risk of the neutral breaking and causing a shock, they were actually doubling the path of the neutral or pen using various water pipes, drain pipes, heater pipes. So the pen was basically doubled, and if it broke, it didn't become live, but the problem was, if the pen wire was broken and some pipes were doing its job, there was no warning, no sign of it, it still worked normally. Then the return current would take various paths through pipes and metal parts of buildings and so on, and you didn't know about it until the last path was broken, basically. Then you could, for example, cut some pipe and touch both sides of the cut and get a shock because you basically completed the circuit. Of course, because a broken pen wire had so dire consequences, it made sense to double it using various pipes, but then a plumber working on pipes would have to call an electrician every time, or the plumber would have to do the job of the electrician. One of the very few sockets in this house connected using copper wires, but this cable isn't even supposed for mains voltage, it seems. It has 4 wires, 2 unused, and the colors are not right. They used blue for life and red for pen, and the cross section is 1 square millimeter at best. Is this a telephone wire or what? In the old days people really used whatever they had. They were quite poor. Not that they are rich now. Of course in new houses everything is done exactly according to all regulations, but then people can't even afford to reproduce. Here's a socket for a washing machine, which for some reason can be disconnected or turned off using this switch, but the switch is actually also disconnecting the pen wire, not just the live wire, which is really interesting. A neon indicator here. And when you turn off the socket for the washing machine, for some reason, it also turns off this fan. Not sure why, but it does. You can see this wire blackened here, where the aluminium wires have a loose connection. It's getting bloody hot in this area. The washing machine can draw about 2 kilowatts or 2.3 kilowatts. There's a lot of current. And if this one goes loose, then of course the cabinet of the washing machine is live at mains voltage. Nice. And also if this switch fails, because it's only supposed to switch the live, not the pen. When you turn it on, if the pen switches on second, the cabinet is momentarily live at mains voltage, and when you turn it off, if the pen switches off first, again the cabinet of the washing machine is momentarily live at mains voltage. And also if this contact fails to turn on, the washing machine is live at mains voltage. Or if you turn it off and the live contact is welded, again the cabinet of the washing machine is live at mains voltage. And of course a socket with dodgy aluminium wires and smoking hot high resistance connections on a wooden surface for maximum fire protection. A 90-degree rotated socket because somebody installed the box wrong. Interesting. A socket botched onto one of the phases of the stove 3-phase connection. A very old junction box with these wire connections. It's interesting how some of these junction boxes are actually hidden behind cast iron heater here. I have no idea what you're supposed to do if you need to get to them. 3 junction boxes behind multiple centimeters of paint, and 3 more behind this heater. What you need is 6 junction boxes on 1 square meter of wall for. And how you're supposed to get to these 3, I have no idea. And of course the sockets and the lights are connected to the same circuit. There is absolutely no separation between these. And of course the wires didn't have any color codes. They were either all black or some random colors. The only way to tell the live and the pen apart was to power the unfinished wiring and use a neon screwdriver. So that's the old school sockets. And in the next episode let's take a look at the old circuit breakers. In a wooden box, of course, and some light circuits and switches. So that's it then. If you like my videos more than some brain erasing TikToks or shorts all day, please consider subscribing, supporting my channel on a Patreon or using the thanks button, because this is what keeps channels like mine alive. Channels that are trying to teach something instead of just wasting your time. And a really big thanks to all of you who already support me. I also plan to demonstrate how sockets were put in a chain in the old days, and what can go wrong in a TNC network.